Hello, hello. How are you? We are going to get started in just a couple of minutes. So, as you come on, let me know what you are drinking tonight. Hello and hello. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, you are having a great Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let me know what you're drinking today. Hello, and Jeanette. Nice to have you on. Thanks for joining me live. Hey, Tanya. Nice to have you on. You guys will have to let me know what you're drinking. I'm drinking water with a flavor of cherry and lime today. I don't know why there's a tapping noise. I don't hear it. Water too? I don't hear a tapping noise. I just turned the volume up. I don't hear it on my phone either. Peach tea, yummy. All right, we've got a great topic. This is always such a good topic when we talk about Facebook ads. So I am very excited to dive right in. Lemonade, pina colada, sparkling water. Okay, whoever's drinking that, who's that Anjanette, where do you get that from? That sounds yummy. Somebody says they're drinking a shot of whiskey. Who's that? I'm always down for a shot of whiskey with Coke Zero. All right, Annette, love it. Latanya drinking water, Coke. April, you usually drinking water. So wow. Hello to you guys too. So I'm super glad that you guys are here joining me live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I think we are at the top of the hour, a minute after. So let's dive in. And as people join, they will let me know what they're drinking. Um, so, who is excited on the call to dive into Facebook ads? Type a one if you are excited about diving into the winning Facebook ad strategy for your business and want to know what is killing it in the Facebook space. Type a one if you are excited about that. Let me know. We got a lot of water drinkers. It's hot. It's like 98 degrees when I was outside. So I can get why you all are drinking water because I went to lunch with my daughter. Well, not with my daughter, at my daughter's restaurant and had some new drink. It was whiskey and basil and strawberry. It was good, but and I was sitting out on the patio and I was a little sweaty because it was hot. All right. So we got lots of ones. You guys are excited about learning what is killing it in the Facebook space. So I'm excited about to share this with you guys. So let's get started. So before I get started, there are lots of new faces on. Let me see. There's Gretchen, Ladora, Jennifer. Thank you for joining. Nakaya, Tina, Danny. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me live. We've got Tabitha and Michelle. So many new faces, and what I want to do is just take just a little bit of time and introduce who I am. My name is Sunday Gardner, online travel boss. I come to you every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. inside of this group to talk to you all things launching, marketing, and operating a successful and profitable travel business. So today, we are going to jump right into winning Facebook ads strategy. So how many of you guys are using Facebook ads right now? If you are, just type in the word ads. Do you actively use Facebook ads? And if so, are you finding success with it? I find many people who want to learn about Facebook ads, but they're scared or they've done it, but they have not found success. So many people, when I ask this question, they'll tell me Facebook ads don't work. And if you know me and you are not new to me, you know that I will say that is just wrong. It works. You just don't know what you're doing. So tell me in the comments how many of you either have tried Facebook ads or want to try Facebook ads. Type in the comments ads so I know how many people are actually interested in ads, right? So Denise says it works for me. Annette said sporadically. I don't use them all the time. Have used ads, didn't find success. Jennifer, sorry, but let's talk about how we can change that. Hey, Jazz, we also have used once. I do like them. Ads. All right. So we've got people who are interested in ads. And let me tell you, I'm going to keep this pretty short this tonight because the reality is that if you're not finding success in Facebook ads, it's probably because you don't know what you're doing. And so I don't mean to bust your bubble, but the reality is that I've been doing Facebook ads since 2000, and I always get, you always forget, like always remembers it, like the teens are the thing, but I literally have been doing Facebook ads since 2010. When they first started Facebook ads, it was not as robust as it is now. You had this little image. I'll never forget. I was in the salon industry, and I did all the marketing for our salon. And I had a natural hair salon and started doing Facebook ads with that. And you just had this little box, and I had this image. It was not even like a picture, right? It wasn't a picture of me. It was this image of a woman who had an afro. And all it said was natural hair salon in Frisco. And then I had some text in it, and that was pretty much all you could do. You didn't have all of the amazing features that you have now, but that's how I ran the ad. And that's how I got new business into our salon. Nobody knew that we were there. So I ran these Facebook ads. Natural hair was just sort of popping in 2010, not as big as it is now. People in 2010 thought it was a fad, and they were like, no, it's not going to last. That's when you could go to your business page on Facebook, and you could, like, if you ran ads to your Facebook business page and you got new members, man, people were reacting and coming. They were buying your products. They were coming to your business. Whatever they did, it was the bomb.com in 2010. I mean, your business page was all you had to do. That is not the case 10 years later. So 10 years later, Facebook ads are still the bomb.com. I still use them for all of my attraction marketing and still get the most amazing return on investment for every dollar that I spend. So we're going to talk today about how you also can get that same type of return by utilizing a strategy that actually works. So let's talk about that. All right. So now, first, if you're on the fence and you are like, well, why do I even want to do Facebook ads, right? Because there's some people who are like, no, I'm not going to spend the money on Facebook ads. I don't even want to do it. So let me give you some compelling reasons why you even want to consider Facebook ads. First of all, there are 2 billion people on the platform every month, not like every year, every month. Right, 2 billion plus. And, I haven't checked that statistic lately since COVID, right? There's probably even more people on the platform now because there's so many people who are home, unfortunately. And what are they doing? They're on social media, right? So chances are for your travel business, your client or your prospective client is on Facebook. And they're doing what all of us are doing when they probably wake up or sometime during the day. They're scrolling, right? They're using their thumb or their finger. I use my forefinger, and they're scrolling through their news feed. And every third post that shows up in your news feed is what? It's an ad. I don't know if you even noticed that, right? So I want you to just go on your phone, right now or later, and you look. Every third post is an ad, right? Every third post. So you'll go down, it's either third or fourth, but I'm almost positive it's third, right? So you'll see a post from your friend, boom, there's an ad. And it just keeps going. So every third post, as you scroll down your Facebook news feed, has an advertisement in it. And not only that, Instagram is owned by Facebook, same thing, right? So the reality is your client is on Facebook, right? So I always say you should be where your clients are, right? Or your prospective clients are. So if your clients are there, where should you be? If you have a prospective client and you have a particular niche, don't you want to be in front of your client, right? Don't you want your ad to be in front of your client? The problem is we don't know as advertisers or marketers, because that's what you are if you're selling something, right? You're a marketer, is what to put in that ad, right? We're probably putting the wrong thing. We're probably not talking the right language. We probably are not even targeting the right person, right? So the reality is the reason why you need to be on Facebook is because that's where your prospective customer is, and even your existing customer is on Facebook. Number two reason why you want to find or want to be on Facebook ads from a marketing perspective is the power of finding your person. So it's one thing to say that Facebook ads, right, or Facebook has the ability to have 2 billion people, but how do you find your ideal client on Facebook? Well, their audience tool allows you to do that. Their ability to find the exact person that you're looking for on Facebook is like no other tool that exists on the planet Earth right now, right? Even with Google, you have to guess the words that someone may use in a search to find your ideal client, right? But with Facebook, we can microscopically find your audience based on characteristics that your audience has or behaviors. Facebook spends a lot. So I remember some years ago, there was like this big thing on Facebook, and people were like in the newsfeed, they were always talking about, Mark Zuckerberg is all in your business, right? It's an infringement of my, privacy. And you know what? I say keep infringing on my privacy as long as you continue to give access to that data to the small business owner, right? And what does that mean, right? So you may be like sensitive to that. So if you are sensitive to that, I apologize. But the reality is here, 10 years ago, I couldn't get in front of my ideal customer like I can now, right? I didn't have the tools probably. And I also didn't have the finances to be able to run big commercials, right? Big commercials that, during football season and, we all are watching the final football game. So we can see the amazing commercials, right? Those cost millions of dollars to do that, right? To get in front of your ideal client 10 years ago, thousands of dollars to do that. Now you're talking anywhere from $1, depending on the type of ad, you can get it for cents to dollars per lead or per instance for you to get in front of your ideal client. That's powerful for a small business owner like me. That's powerful for a small business owner like you, right? So you can leverage that power by the fact that he's infringing on your rights, right? And, I'm being funny about that, but the reality is he collects, and I say he being Mark, because in my head, Mark Zuckerberg or I are like BFFs, right? Because I love his platform. He collects so much data about the people that use the platform and makes all of that data available. I don't know if it's 100% of the data, but it's certainly enough data for us to be able to leverage that in our marketing and find our people, right? Who's excited about that? Like, right, excited. If you're excited about the fact that you can find peanut butter eaters, like people who love peanut butter sandwiches. I love the fact that I can find, right, Sandra's on, she's one of my clients, and she specializes in destination weddings. We can find people who are about to get engaged, or who are engaged rather, who are engaged for 6 months, right? That's powerful. We can find people whose birthdays are coming up, whose anniversaries are coming up, right? We can find people by their age group. That's exciting and that's powerful. And you have the ability to have that power in your hands. All you need to do is learn how to wield the power, right? So I always say, if you got a superpower and you don't know how to use it, it's not a superpower, right? But all of us have the ability to utilize that superpower through the power of Facebook ads, right? It's exciting. So I'm seeing a lot of people writing excited. Yeah, that's very exciting. So the number 3 reason why you want to be using Facebook ads in your business is that's where it's at. Like, I mean, that's where it's at. That's where your people are at. That's where the money is at. Facebook groups, which is another feature of Facebook, is where the platform is moving. Zuckerberg is already committed to investing a significant amount of dollars into growing the Facebook group functionality within the platform, and that's where it's at. So the reality is, if you're a travel business owner, what should you have? You should have a Facebook group, right? Around your particular niche, right? But the reality is that a lot of you may already have a group and it's dead. It's not doing anything for you, right? There's no activity, there's no life in your Facebook group, right? You're posting and you're doing a lot of work in that group, but you're not getting any response, right? So that's where we need to change it, right? You're probably not investing in any growth strategy either. You're not doing anything to grow the group, to make sure that you got live, new, fresh blood in the group all of the time. And you're probably not doing the right things to ensure that you've got people interacting and engaging inside of your group, right? So that's where we're going to make a shift right here. All right. So who's on board, right? Are you on board that Facebook is like where it's at? Like you should be on Facebook, not only be on Facebook, but you should be investing in Facebook advertising. But here's the issue, right? I told you I've been doing this since 2010, Facebook ads. And back in 2010, to be on Facebook, all you needed to do was really have a business page, right? If you could attract people to your business page, that's all you needed to do, right? And then you could post on your business page, and then you could like have all this interaction on your business page. That was 2010, right? Zuckerberg got smart and realized, I'm giving all this amazingness for free. So he wrote some code. He had his people write some code. And you'll often hear of this code called the algorithm, right? You'll hear, and it's just a fancy way of Facebook controlling the what he wants to do. He is in business to make money. And he being Mark, again, my friend in my head, he's in business to make money. So he had his developers write code that said, because, I remember back in 2010, my whole objective was to grow my page, right? My business page. I wanted to have like as many people on my business page as I want. And that's what I ran ads to do. And then you could post. There was no groups. There were no Facebook groups. It was your personal page and your business page. And that was it. And frankly, I got on Facebook back in the, early 2000s to like spy on my daughter, right? I wanted to make sure she wasn't, posting nude pictures. She wasn't doing anything she wasn't supposed to be doing on Facebook. But then when I found this like power of the business side, I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? 2010, you could do that. Now, 2020, Zuckerberg says, no. You want to get to those people on your business page, you're going to have to pay for it, right? And ultimately, he's going to do the same thing, I'm sure, with groups. But right now, he hasn't done that. So what does that mean? What it means is you could have 1,000 people on your Facebook business page right now, and you could post until you're green in the face, right? But you are only going to get between 8 and 10%, and I really think it's less than that, organic traffic to that post. So let's say you post, hey, I'm going live, I'm doing this, here's a tip of the week, here's whatever. Organically, which means for free, you're only going to get about 8 to 10% reach to that audience. Does that make sense, right? 8 to 10%, because I want you to make sure you're clear about that. So you're only going to get 8 to 10% free audience reach, no matter how big your business page is, right? So what the issue is with Facebook that people don't realize is that it is a pay to play platform. So that's a triple P, right? Pay to play platform. You have to pay to be able to play and get results on the platform. So if you want to see and get in front of those 1,000 business users, you have to pay for it. Period. End of story. No reason to argue about it. No need to fight about it. No need to be sad about it. Just be knowledgeable about it, right? So the reality is you cannot just post on your business page and think for free that your message is going to reach your audience, because it's not, right? So you can do offers on your business page and your message isn't going to get there like you want it to. So people got hip to that, right? So maybe 5 or 6 years ago, people were like, bump the business page, I'm going to the personal page and I'm going to start posting on my personal page. Well, then last year, Zuckerberg was like, I said, you need to pay, right? I said, you need to pay to play, right? So what he did is he stopped delivering content on your personal page, particularly if it's not the content that your people, your personal friends are engaging with, right? So stop trying to trick the system. Just pay. Get your wallet out, pay, learn how to use the system and pay. And it doesn't have to be expensive. So I'm going to tell you how you can do that in just a minute. So that's the major issue is people get on the platform and they think I'm going to do it and treat it the same way that I treat Pinterest or Instagram, YouTube, and I'm just going to start posting stuff. And then you're sad. You're really, really sad that you're not getting the response that you want because you're not investing any dollars, right? So pay to play platform. Remember that when you think of Facebook, think you gotta get your wallet out and you gotta spend some money in order to get in front of your audience. Now, the reality is I'm okay with spending money if I'm not wasting money, right? And the problem is most of you guys think that you know what you're doing, right? You're boosting ads to sell your products, and then you're like, I've run an ad and it's not working. The reality is you're doing the exact thing I tell you not to do, right? You're probably trying to sell a 3,000 plus vacation package to a bunch of strangers who don't know who you are. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it, right? And what I'm saying, you still have to follow the relationship process, right? You still have to introduce yourself to strangers, right? Develop a relationship and then sell, right? So you can't skip that process just because you're on social media. Just because you're on social media, you think, oh, I'm going to be able to get in front of my audience, right? I'm going to run an ad, right? I get the power of finding my people, and then I'm just going to throw up on them non-value, and I'm just going to try and sell them. That's a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to tell you that's not going to work either, right? So you can find all of your peanut butter lovers. You can find all your destination wedding people, but if all you do is sell, and you don't build a relationship and try and give them value, you're not going to be successful in that arena as well. So it's sort of two parts. You've got to know what to do with Facebook ads, and then you need to know what to offer to the type of client that you're trying to attract, right? Based on where they are in the relationship cycle. So you still can't skip the process, right? So if you don't know what the process is, I've got some videos in here that talk about what the relationship process is. You can't skip that. So I don't want you to think by any stretch of the imagination, I'm telling you, Facebook ads will allow you to skip right over into BFF status with your people, and you'll be able to sell, cold to cold traffic, and everything will be rosy. No. What I'm telling you is use Facebook for what it's intended for, building relationships, having conversations, right? Getting to know your audience, being social, right? That's what social media is about. Utilizing the platforms for what they're intended for, which is to be social. So let's talk about how do we do this. All right, so traditional Facebook, right? Okay, so before I jump right in, let's just make sure everybody is following me, right? Are you guys following me? Like, does this all make sense? Are you following what I'm saying in terms of the history and kind of where we are now? Because what I'm going to go to now is kind of traditional stranger offer Facebook marketing and where I've made the shift and where I think you should make the shift. Right. So let me know if this makes sense. Yes. All right. I'm getting some yeses. Right. I'm getting some love. You guys are understanding. All right. So great. All right. So let's dive in. Traditional ad strategy says, because this is what I've been teaching for years, right? Traditional ad strategy says, I know that I should not be selling to strangers, right? So what do I need to do? I need to have a stranger offer, right? You guys all are familiar with stranger offer. If you're not, it's simply an offer that you give your prospective clients to introduce yourself. It's like a cup of coffee with your prospective leads, right? So you meet somebody who is interested in having a destination wedding. You don't throw up on them and say, I can help you. I'm your gal, right? You introduce yourself with some sort of stranger offer. A stranger offer could be simple as, here's a guide for your destination wedding, right? Here's a guide on, the best destination wedding locations to go to for the first timer, right? Or second timer, maybe, this is your third time around, whatever, right? But the reality is that you need to have a stranger offer. So traditional strategy has always been, from a Facebook ads perspective, at least in terms of introducing yourself to the stranger, is to run a Facebook ad to a landing page. You collect their email address, and then you give them the stranger offer, and you continue the communication via email, right? So 3 steps, right? Ad, landing page, email, right? Can you guys remember that? So write that down, somebody. It's ad, landing page, email. That's the original traditional strategy. That's where most people are still at, right? So the only way that you really get that communication is through email, right? And so don't get me wrong, email is still the bomb.com, still the cheapest way to get marketing out, still the best way to connect, build relationships, right? I still love email. I'm not like anti email, but that's the traditional way, right? And it's only one stream of lists that you usually get, right? Perfect. Thanks, Jazz. So it's a Facebook ad, it's your landing page email. That's traditional, right? You have a stranger offer, you run an ad against that stranger offer, you take them to a landing page, and boom, you send them an email, get them an email sequence, and you're nurturing them through email. That's the traditional way, right? So what's the problem with that? There's really not a problem, but the question is how can we get in front of our ideal client on multiple levels, multiple streams, and how can I create a high touch environment? Although email is still the bomb.com, the reality is that email is lost in, like, that people are bombarded with emails, right? There's a lot of emails. So maybe your message, if you don't have the right email title, you don't have the right, thing that's going to get them to open up your email, right? Your email marketing may not be that great, right? Does that make sense? Right. So even though it's still an effective strategy, it's still a one path to your client, right? In terms of building that relationship. So let's talk about what the new path is, right? You ready for the new path? You guys ready for the new path? Let me take a break and get some sip. Yes, thank you. Advertising, so not ad. So Diane says direct traffic to your Facebook group. That's exactly right, right? So let's talk about how you do that. So the reality is, if I tell you that Facebook groups are where it's at, then what should you do? You ought to drive traffic to that group, right? And what is the stranger offer that you're giving? It's your group, right? So you think about where you are right now. I've got about 50 people on this live right now, and all that I do is provide you value inside of this group. That is my goal. That is my objective. That is what you get to see me. You get to hear me. You get to learn about who I am, what my position is in terms of travel business, how I coach, what type of information I provide. You get a high touch experience with me, right? So let's talk about what this new path is. So the new path is you go Facebook ad, and then you go to your Facebook group, right? And so what we're finding is that we're not going to a landing page. We're actually using Messenger, Facebook Messenger. We're using the tools and the technology that's within Facebook to stay within the platform, right? Does that make sense? So I'm not going to, I got this fly that's bugging me. My husband always loved barbecue day, which is yesterday, but he always lets flies in the house. So then when I've got these bright lights on, they're like attacking me. It's like ridiculous. All right, so I digress a little bit. All right, so what you're doing is you're going Facebook ad, Messenger to your Facebook group. Make sense? Simple. And then what are you doing in your Facebook group? Number 3, you're building relationships, right? So instead of just doing it in email, you're doing it inside of your Facebook group, in addition to doing it in email, right? So now you've got a second way for which you to build a relationship. That is high touch, as opposed to waiting for them to open up the email, right? And hoping that they open up the email. The percentages of, like, if you can get 10% of your traffic to open up your emails, you're doing good, right? So you spend all this money to get these leads and you're hoping for 10%, right? If you're really good in your email marketing, you get upwards of 20 to 30%, but that's about the average, right? That you're looking to get 20 or 30% of your email list to open up your email, consume what it is, and then, out of that to take action, right? But inside of a Facebook group, right, I get to talk to you guys directly. I get to speak to you, understand, like I get to ask questions, I get to interact with you, right? That interaction is immediate, right? Who's excited about that path, right? And the reality is that when you run this new strategy, you can get ad leads as low as $1. One of my clients is getting ads for, I say $1, I think her average is like $1.90 over the course of what she's been doing. She's running $5 a day ads. She's getting 4 to 5 clients a day. right? That's pretty amazing, right? And if it's a $2 a day, she's getting two to three new leads in her business per day. I swear to God, this fly is like it's like attacking me. It's ridiculous. I don't know if you guys can see it. I probably look like a crazy woman, like trying to swat. I mean, this fly, like he's like coming at me. It's like it's me and the fly. But does that make sense? Like you actually get to control your ad spend. You don't have to spend $50 a day, but if you want more leads, you can, right? So you get to control how much you're spending. If you're doing this successfully, you're going to get leads, and it's your responsibility to relate to them, right? It's to interact with them, right? Who's excited about that as an opportunity to do that? All right, somebody wrote, I think it was Diane Harris. Are you doing that? Are you running direct traffic to your group? How are you? Are you successful in doing that? I love the idea. You know, we actually started doing that and then dropped off of it. We started in 2016 running traffic to my first group through ads and then stopped it. And now we picked it up with a whole new engagement strategy, and it's working like fire. Right. So we get a couple of me's who are excited. That's great. Simone is one of my students, and she is also getting results in her Facebook ad. Right. So she's getting new leads into her group every single day, $5 a day. Right. The reality is that what could you do if you could get your ideal client inside of your group and that you could start communicating to them? Do you find that to be a powerful tool? Would you find that to be powerful for your travel business? Would you know what to do with them once they were inside of your group? Somebody says that I'm doing ads, but it's not going anywhere. So, you know, I'm going to open this up for Q&A because really, you know, that's the strategy is Facebook ads with the objective of growing your group, nurture inside the group, and then ultimately promote inside of your group strategically. Right? That's the thing. So let's talk about what the benefits are. I've sort of alluded to this, but I just want to be super clear about what the benefits are. The benefit number one is Facebook groups are highly engaged, right? Highly high touch, right? So again, I'm not waiting for you to open up my email, although I send out emails. I am waiting for you to join a live. Again, I've got over 50 people on this live today, not to mention all the people who are going to watch it in the replay, right? I show up every single week, right, with some knowledge associated with your group, right? That relationship that I invest in building with you all is meaningful, right? It's meaningful to you. It's meaningful to me as the provider, and it gives you the opportunity to get to know me on a level that you may not be able to do in email, right? What if you did that in your travel business? How do you think that would work for you? Like, do you think it would work for your business? I think it would. I know it would actually, right? How do you run ads in your private group? You know, April, that's a great question. And that's exactly what we go inside of Travel Passions to Profits program is I teach you exactly. I don't have the time, obviously, to go through every single step that it takes for you to do that. But that's exactly what we do inside of Travel Passions to Profit, right? Inside of that program, I talk to you about every step on connecting all of the technology to make that happen. So when Simone has got 3 and 4 leads coming into her business, and these are people that meet her criteria, right? That meet her niche, right? That are coming and joining her Facebook group every single day, right? $5 a day, right? And she's able to ascertain if they really are a match or not. She's able to communicate with them on a personal level inside of her group, right? And I teach you how to do that, right? So the reality is that you just got to get a system in place that works so that you can do your magic. So my question is what would 5 new leads per day who met your criteria do for your business? Do you feel like you could do something with that, right? That's kind of what I want to know. It's like, do you feel like if you could get 5 new leads of fill in the blank type of customer that met your criteria, that you got to feel out and you got to do it in your pajamas every single day? Once you set up the funnel, that's it. You're done, right? You're done. You don't have to do any more work. You're done. It just works. Boom. You just either turn on the ads or you turn them off, right? You add more money, and we work to make sure that when you're adding money, that you're not losing that scalability, right? So what would that do? Like, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Like, what would that do to your business if you had 5 or 4 new leads coming into your business every day? That met your criteria. And I'm not talking random people. I'm not talking about people who want to join gyms, right, and want to lose weight, but people who are interested in whatever niche you've got and that you're able to qualify them. Wouldn't that be great? All right. So number 2 benefit of this strategy is consistent growth, right? Every single day, as long as you're keeping your ads up, right? And the good thing is that Facebook, as your group is growing, is going to organically show your group to about 1 to 2% people, right? So not only are you going to get your group growth through paid ads, you're going to organically grow as well. All right. There's a bunch of comments. I want to make sure I'm not missing them. All right. So the third benefit is immediate interaction, right? I've already talked to you guys about that, right? You know, I write these notes and I always want to make sure I want to go over all my points, right? But immediate interaction, right? Email is pretty immediate, right? But again, you're waiting for them to open up that click, right? And if your titles are not juicy and they don't get that great, you know, they don't open up that click, right? Then you don't get that immediate action. But you know, when you go live, right, and you do a post inside your group, there's no algorithm that's really preventing your group from happening. Zuckerberg hasn't introduced that. That's why the power of a group is so much more powerful than anything that exists right now. Your Facebook group is the most powerful thing that you can have. And if you can harness that, right, and you can control your Facebook group to do what you want it to do, right, is to get the engagement that you want, is to build the relationship with your prospective clients and existing clients in the way that you want. It is the most powerful marketing asset that you will have in your business, hands down, period, end of story. That's it, like, period. Not only that, you run promotions inside of your group, right? So I'm not saying you do that every single week, but you run promotions in a strategic way and you make money outside of your group. So not only do you have a highly engaged group, you have a group that's monetized, right? Does that make sense? Like, who wants to monetize their Facebook group? Because I don't want to do just a group and I'm not getting anything out of it from a financial perspective so that I can do all the other things that I want to do with my clients, right? Everybody is in this for, well, not everybody, but most people are in it to be profitable, right? So you want to be able to run ads, grow your group, engage with people in group, and then ultimately run promotions inside of your group. All right, so listen, the very last benefit is that if you run the strategy right, you're also collecting emails. So that means you still get to do the email marketing, right? So really the strategy that I set up for my students is threefold, right? Not only do you get them inside of your group, you get them via email and you also get them via Messenger, right? That means you have 3 touch points that you have for your prospective clients for which you to build a relationship with, for them to get to know you, and for you ultimately, when you get ready to run promotions, you have a warm community of people that are already in love with you, hopefully, right? That you've done a good job of building that relationship. So when you offer something that they're interested in, they're going to be like, I'm in. Where is it? Let me move out the way so I can get it, right? That's what we're building. That's what's hot in Facebook, right? So before I open it up to Q&A, because I see that there's a lot of responses and I want to go with that, is listen, who wants to do that, right? Who wants to get that strategy deployed or implemented? That sounds so formal, right? So deployed sounds like military, right? My mom's military. I got a bunch of people in my life military. So, but who wants that strategy implemented in their travel business, right? We don't have the time to go through all of the details it takes to be able to do that. But who would like to get that strategy set up for their travel business where they're getting new leads and they're able to engage inside of their group with new members in a way that's strategic, right? That's not like overwhelming where you're posting every single day, you're going live every single day, and you're running yourself to ragged and you're still not getting engagement, right? Who would like to have a highly engaged Facebook group, right? Who they can engage with and ultimately run promotions. Write me in the comments, and then I will have one of our customers, client support specialists, reach out to you tomorrow or tonight, and she will let you know if you're fit for the program. That's pretty simple, right? Just type me in the comments, and if it's a good fit, we'll get you enrolled, and you too can build yourself a lead attraction system, right? All right, so what I want to do, let me make sure I go through while people are responding, is let me get through the questions and make sure that I answer any questions. And then if you have a question about the strategy, feel free to put it in the comments, and then I'll put it in. All right, so somebody writes the targeting is where people fall short and then they think it doesn't work. That's right. So Targeting is really important, but your offer and the language is really important as well. So I always say successful marketing is about having the right offer for the right person at the right time. So sometimes you could have the right person, but you have the wrong offer, right? It's you're trying to sell, maybe. Oftentimes it's you guys try to sell too soon. You're trying to offer like a package that is a major investment probably for some, and they don't know you. You don't have any relationship with them, right? So I always say sell to people that you know. It's so much easier, it's so much cheaper, it's much funner, right? It's so much more, what's the right word that I'm looking for? It's so much more rewarding to sell and successfully sell to someone who knows, likes, and trusts you than to try and sell to strangers where all they're going to do, the majority of those people are going to do is tell you no, right? So sell to people that you know, create a community of people that know you, like you, and trust you, right? And the Facebook group is the way to do that, right? All right, so then we here, someone says, I am new here. Let's see, I'm gonna show this. New here, I don't have a group, never realized I might need one. Do you have a video on how to get started and how to drive people to that group or find it? That is all taught inside of Travel Passions to Profits program. So that is exactly what we teach in the program. We teach you how to set up your Facebook group. We teach you how to identify your niche, how to run those Facebook ads to grow your group, and then how to engage inside of your group. And then also make sure operationally that you're set up to support the growth that you ultimately will have inside of your group. All right, let's see what else. Thank you, Simone. I appreciate it. So Simone's saying that we do have a program and she is a part of it, and she is one. We have not got to the promoting stage yet. Right now, she is just growing her group and she's engaging with the people inside of her group. And so Simone will have to say how many people you are. I didn't check recently, but I think you're at least 5 people, at least 4, between 3 and 5 people per day. And I know we're working on scaling your ads. I think the last is you were at 5. So there may be people, you may be at a little bit higher now. All right, we got a lot of me's. So before I skedaddle out of here, is there any questions? Do you guys have any questions about that strategy? Do you have any questions about how to, what to do? I only spend about 45 minutes on these calls. So, the program, Travel Passions to Profits, is the program what I've designed to teach you how to do that, right? Step by step. Every step of the way. Like, I pause for a second because I'm like, it's every step of the way. It's like every step that you need to be able to get this funnel set up such that you're successfully running ads. And not only that, we're really focused on making sure that once your ad is set up and that you're growing your group, is that you understand from an operation perspective that you're set up for success as well. Because what's the deal is that you set up and then you can't take requests, you can't book effectively, you don't have the right systems in place. So the second part of that is making sure that you have the right systems and operations to be able to successfully sustain profitability in your business. All right, so we see a lot of me's. So before we talk about the investment of the program, what we do is make sure that you're a good fit. So what we're going to be reaching out to you between tonight and tomorrow is to make sure that the program is a good fit, because not everybody is a good fit. I don't take everybody in the program. There's a specific thing I'm looking for in terms of the right student, right? So we want to ascertain that it's a good fit. Maybe you're not ready to invest in Facebook ads. Let me tell you this, a successful candidate inside of this group, inside of this program, is ready to expend potentially $300 to $500 and testing out their Facebook ads. Some people are not ready to do that. So let me just caveat that by saying, if you're not ready to invest at least $300 to $500 in Facebook ads to be able to test what you need to test so that we can get you successfully getting the leads that you want, then the program's not right for you, right? If maybe you want to do something else and you're not ready to do a funnel and you want to try something else, right? The program's not for you, right? You've got to be ready to, one, set up the funnel, right? Do what I ask you to do, show up, right? To set up the funnel, spend the money on the Facebook ads so that you can test it out and make sure that we're getting the results that you want. And then once that funnel is set up, it's yours, right? Like I get to step away and you get to tell me how successfully you're growing that funnel based on us scaling it out, right? So Jazz is also one of our students. So thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it. The last we've just finished 2 cycles of the first 8 weeks of the program. And the first 8 weeks of the program, I'm focused on ensuring that everyone's funnel gets set up, right? Did a really high touch implementation with the students in the first cycle. Right now, we've got some updates that we're going to do to the classes to make sure that the classes are much easier to consume so that there are not so many questions. So that's what I'll be working on for the next 6 weeks. But we're enrolling, right? And the reality is, if you want your funnel set up by the time COVID is, unfortunately, I don't know that COVID will be gone, but the reality is that you should still be growing your list, right? But when people are really ready to start traveling, it's my hope that that's the beginning of the year, right? Maybe first quarter, they find a vaccine and things are lifted a little bit, right? You don't want to start working on your business then. You want to work on your business now. You want to have that lead and that base now, right? This is the time to be working and growing your business now and getting those leads and nurturing and developing those relationships now, so that when people are ready to go, boom, they're ready to go. They're not looking for somebody. They already had somebody that they've been working with for the last several months, right? So position yourself to be in that same spot. All right. So listen, if you've stuck with me through the end, thank you. I appreciate it. I am here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central, not Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking to you about all things launching, marketing, and operating a successful travel business. If you join me live, I appreciate it. If you watch this in the replay, do not forget to push #replay. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Talk to you later.